about the three parts of capital, right? This is the simplest way I can kind of describe it. I wrote some of this out, but there's three parts of capital when we really think about it, right? Well, how to make it, we're not going to touch upon that. We talk about that every day. The second parts, and these are the two important parts, these are the parts that no one really ever figures out. You know, you go through life just, ooh, I got a raise, 20 grand, ooh, hamster wheel, right? How to protect it and how to grow it. And these two work hand in hand. And if you can master this and start trying to learn and master this, you're going to be really set and you're going to understand how important this is. There's three basic ways to protect the money that you're actually earning, okay? You're getting smoked right now on taxes. You know, our clients pay less taxes that have 30, 50, 60 million dollars net worth than, you know, you making $150,000 in earned income, okay? And here's why. But there's three ways to protect the money, right? When I think about it, and correct me if I'm wrong, like this is supposed to be an open conversation, and please interject if I'm not making sense or if you want to repeat something. Number one, you're going to spend money on deductible business expenses that will create more revenue tomorrow, okay? So there's no getting around some expenses, but I implore you next year, get a separate credit card, you know, a separate Amex card, and everything that is business, quasi-business, make it business, that is going on, you put on that card. You know, there is a way to finance your lifestyle as long as you merge it a little bit with your business. And really, this is a surefire way to get, you know, to become very wealthy also. Like, literally, everything you should do should have a business, you know, aspect to it. You're going to take a client, you want to go out and get a drink, take a client and deduct the whole thing. You're going to spend the money anyway. But that meeting with that client at 6:30 p.m. over a couple cocktails, that's going to create more revenue tomorrow. 1099, we get our money. At the end of the year, we total it up. But we don't need a separate LLC or anything. It's you know, we just got to keep track of our business expenses. So you don't need to do that. I have a separate LLC, but you don't need one. Just have a separate credit card so you don't need to like write down the notes. It's like everything that goes in this credit card is for business, right? As soon as you have enough money to lease a car, this is the highest ROI. What does a car do? A car allows you to get from point A to point B quicker, AKA allows you to create more revenue tomorrow. So it's the government, it's uncle getting the money, or it's taking out a $500 a month car lease and a $500 a month garage, $1,000 times 12, make 100 grand. It's either getting taxed on 100 grand or it's 100 grand minus 12 is 88 and you get taxed on the 88. So do you want to spend it in order to make more revenue tomorrow, or do you want to just kind of just give it all to the government like a normal salaried employee? So when you're thinking about spending on things that you want to spend on, I almost don't spend any money on anything that can't fit into this bucket, right? Like I'll spend it on a vehicle, I'll spend it on, you know, this board that I can't figure out how to use. But this, you know, this $4 grand or whatever, I believe that this is going to create more revenue in the future. You know, I want to present our deals. I'm tired of calling a million people. I want to find a way to communicate to a broader audience to tell them why our deals are worth looking into. You know, I can't be as effective on a one-on-one approach anymore. Can't be as effective to you. Most of you are spending your money because you feel good when you get a check on stuff that you can't deduct. And I'm just trying to put into your mind, don't spend money that you can't deduct, especially right now, okay? Number two, live below your means, okay? So what does that look like? That looks like sacrifice. It looks like things that may be a little uncomfortable for some people in the room. Dan, I know you're getting married. I'm not sure what your philosophy is, but I think if you're in a relationship, a serious one, Mark, you got to have a serious conversation with your partner, and you got to have a conversation about how are we going to live below our means. Not above our means, below our means. Because if you can live below your means, you're going to be able to save enough to actually start building that 100 grand pipeline and then get that to work. Because then it'll start to work for you. But if you don't do it this way, if you spend above your means and you can't put enough away, you're always going to be that hamster. And you're always going to need to make more income to feed the mortgage payment, everything else. Everyone read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? Right? What is his number one rule? Like, don't take on liabilities, a boat, a second house, whatever this stupid stuff is, until you have investments that pay for that second mortgage, that pay for that boat. Okay? This is the only way to do it. So you're kidding yourself if you're like, well, you know, I'm going to go from $100,000 to $200,000 income, and now I'm going to go from a $1,300 a month apartment to a $5,000 a month apartment. You're never going to get off this hamster wheel. You're going to have to make double the amount of money. This is the time, the next 3 to 5 years, to actually sacrifice, to put yourself like in a position where you're going to live well, like live beneath your means, still live well, because you're going to be basically living well, but being able to deduct it, you know, and put that stuff away. Because if you wait too long, you won't have that compounding interest of time. You want to get your money into investments right away. Like, we have such a fortunate position. Do you know how many people are wishing they had the on-the-ground insight that we have into investments in New York City? By the time they reach it in Germany, it's been chopped up 15 different ways by 15 different syndicates and asset management fees and blah, blah, blah. Like, we are on the ground. You know, if a client says, hey, you want to throw in 10% on this or whatever, you're going to know whether it's a good investment or not because you're selling the exact same thing. That is incredible. That's also the reason why this is the greatest business in the world. Just skipping this out, because I want to stick on this for a second, right? So let's just run through some math real quick. So